There's a reason some men walk into a room and every woman feels it before he even says a word. It's not money. It's not looks. It's something ancient, something buried in the psychology of desire. You see, attraction isn't built in the eyes. It's built in the mind. And today we are going to uncover 7 masculine traits that make women obsessed. Not just interested, not just curious, obsessed. But here's the secret. Each of these traits is invisible to the untrained eye. You can't fake them, you become them. Stay with me till the end, because trait number 7 is the one that flips a woman's emotional switch for life. Let's begin. Trait 1, the calm dominance. Ever notice how the loudest guy in the room usually isn't the one in control? True dominance doesn't shout, it radiates. Psychology explains that women subconsciously associate calmness under pressure with genetic security. In primitive terms, the man who doesn't panic during chaos is the man who keeps her safe. That's why women test your emotional temperature. They'll push a button just to see if you stay grounded. When you respond with steady energy, note anger, not approval, you trigger a deep sense of respect. And respect, gentlemen, is the foundation of obsession. But dominance alone isn't enough because power without mystery dies quickly. Trait 2, the enigmatic silence. There's a silence that speaks louder than words. A man who doesn't rush to fill every gap with noise creates curiosity. Psychologically, humans crave closure. When you don't explain yourself completely, her mind starts working overtime to understand you. That's when she starts replaying your words, overanalyzing your tone. And that is how fascination is born. Ever had a woman ask, "What are you thinking?" And you honestly weren't thinking anything. She still gets hooked because your stillness feels like depth. Keep your mystery. It's your oxygen. And speaking of oxygen, let's move to the fire that makes her pulse quicken. Trait 3, the controlled aggression. Every man has a primal edge inside him. Most just bury it, but women feel when you've mastered yours. Psychologically, it signals competence and confidence. It's not about violence. It's about direction. Your ability to channel aggression into purpose. When you walk, speak, or even hold eye contact with intention, you send a message. I could, but I choose not to. That restraint is intoxicating. It's danger wrapped in discipline. And while aggression commands attention, what truly bonds her comes next. Trait 4, the emotional independence. The modern man confuses availability with value. But here's the truth. A man who doesn't need her becomes the one she needs most. From a psychological standpoint, this taps into intermittent reward theory. When affection and attention are earned, not given freely, the brain releases more dopamine. It's the same mechanism behind addiction. That's why when you stop chasing, she starts. When you stay grounded in your purpose, she orbits around you. You're not playing hard to get. You're just busy building your kingdom, but independence without connection turns cold. So the next trait balances logic with emotional depth. Trait 5, the emotional awareness. Here's where most men fail. They suppress emotions to appear strong. But true masculine power comes from mastering emotions, not avoiding them. When you understand what you feel, you also understand what she feels. This is empathic leadership psychology. The ability to sense emotion without being consumed by it. When a woman feels seen without you saying a word, you enter her emotional reality. That connection is magnetic. It's what separates the men she dates from the men she dreams about. And that leads us into the deeper current, the force behind every obsession. Trait 6, the unshakable purpose. Purpose is the masculine soul. Without it, you become replaceable. When a man knows why he wakes up every morning, his energy becomes directional, focused, attractive. Psychologically, women read this as emotional security, because a man with purpose isn't easily distracted, not by drama, not by desire. He leads. It's not your words that pull her in. It's the silent conviction behind them. You could be broke, unknown, even ignored. But if you walk like a man on a mission, people start asking, "Who is that guy?" And yet all of this builds to one final invisible force. Trait 7. The spiritual detachment. Here's the paradox. You become irresistible when you no longer need to be. This final trait is about psychological detachment. The freedom from needing validation, approval, or outcome. When you're content within yourself, your presence becomes rare. And in a world full of men chasing, you stand still, and she comes to you. Because obsession isn't born from possession. It's born from perception. And the man who cannot be owned is the man she can't stop thinking about. So remember, no single trait makes a woman obsessed. It's the cluster of calm dominance, mystery, emotional control, and inner purpose that builds your masculine gravity. Master these not for her, but for you. Because when you evolve into the man you were meant to be, the world and the women in it respond differently. That's not manipulation. That's mastery. If this resonated with you, brother, don't just watch and scroll. Join the tribe of men rebuilding masculine psychology in a modern world. Like this video to support the message. Comment which trait you're working on next. Share it with a man who needs to hear this. And subscribe, because the next episode dives into the hidden tests women use to measure your masculinity. Until then, stay grounded, stay dangerous, and remember, a man at peace is a man women can't forget.